Yeah, g'day guys. Today on the channel we're doing 5 habits of good welding. So let's get straight into it.
How awesome does it look?
First one, number 1, keep plenty of consumables. You know, tips or spare welding wire or, you know, welding rods if you're using stick welder. And with MIG welder, always keep a spare roll of wire. Nothing worse than a Friday afternoon and you're about to hit that big project. Anyway, that's number 1. Always keep plenty of consumables. That's good practice. Number 2, don't cross over your welding leads. Yeah, sounds kind of funny, just like Ghostbusters.
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
Why?
It would be bad.
If you're using 2 grinders or, you know, one with a flappy, one with a cutting wheel, you know, you've got your welding lead in one hand and then you've got an air nozzle or something to cool stuff down or to blow the... you've got 4 or 5 leads, maybe another one if you've got a saber saw. So don't cross over your leads. It's a real pain. Like you pick up one and then you pick up the next one, and if you don't put it back in the same spot each time, it's going to be a real pain. So yeah, try and keep your leads untangled as you're working along and off the floor. Like when you're standing, you're trying to get the job done right, so you want to not have all the leads all laying in your way, and it's really painful working in a cluttered environment, if that's the right word. Number 3 or 4, I think I lost count. Keep your welding helmet lens clean or replace it. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy to swap them out. Always have plenty of spares, because that's the main part of why you can't see your welds. Well, one of the main reasons, because if you got all splatter and everything all over your lenses, you're not going to be able to weld very efficiently. Is it efficiently? It's going to show up in your welds. They're going to look like shit. Anyway, so always try and keep a nice tidy lens so you can mainly see your weld pool when you're welding along. You can actually see what you're doing. That's my good habit. Yeah, a really good habit that I have is making sure you got plenty of light when you're welding. So the best thing to do is, you know, if you've got plenty of, you know, these down lights or whatever, and if you haven't got great light, open a door or weld outside if you can, if the weather's okay. You just got to have a lot of light. Like, I mean, there's a little tiny torch. There's plenty of little torches available, like magnetic or battery. I've got this new one coming. It's a headband style torch, and it'll go onto the helmet actually, which will be really good. And it's, you know, one of them ones with it's one of those ones that you just hand wave and it comes on and off and things like that. So I'll put a link in the description for that one. It's a really handy light. I've used it at a friend of mine's place and I thought, why haven't I got one of these? That's one of the big habits that I like to keep, is plenty of light. So what am I up to? Is that 4, 5? I don't know. Another number. 1 of 5. Anyway, another one is generally just tidy up after yourself. If you're making a hell of a mess, you're gonna be tripping over stuff, and you know, if your workspace isn't real tidy, you're gonna have a hell of a problem with workflow. Like if you're doing multiples of one thing or another, and you're doing a couple of them, and you're cutting steel, and then you're grinding a bit, and then you're welding a bit, and you've got a lot of things going on in your workbench, so it's good to try and keep them all in order, as to say. Anyway, let's go with bonus habit. Bonus habit is spend time improving your workspace. Like if you're starting out, you've got a little tiny workbench and it's not real flat or anything, or you're working on the ground, on the concrete, or even on the dirt, you know, in a carport or something, and you're just trying to weld a few things together to sell them off, or welding for mates or anything like that. Always try and improve not just your welding skill, but your environment around you. Like, it makes the job so much easier And I don't mean buying expensive welders or equipment or things like that. It's more about your environment. So if you've got a nice concrete floor, that's going to make things so much easier. You're going to really appreciate it when you're needing to lie on the floor. So if you do have a workbench, try and improve the workbench. Like, have tools that are within range. Like you see here, I've got, you know, plenty of tools all within reach, and everything's on hooks, and it just makes things so much easier. Yes, it's nice to have plenty of equipment, but that doesn't make you a better welder. So you could have all the fancy gear and have a shit environment around you and a workspace, and it's not going to make your welding better, for sure. Learning a new skill or a new way of welding something or a new technique, you know, it's, you know, put your ego aside, and you know, no one's perfect at everything. So what do you got to lose but try a new technique? Or in your spare time, you look at a few videos on how to do something and then go and implement it. Go and try and do something different, weld a different way, or, you know, use a new piece of equipment a different way. So it's always good to, you know, brush up on your skills. So there's my 5 habits for good welding. I hope they've been some help for you. If they have, or you've got a few great habits yourself, pop them down in the comments. That'd be awesome. It'd be great to hear about them. Guys, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. There's the occasional welding job on this channel, so yeah, it's always good to share things with friends. Anyway, guys, catch you on the next one. See ya.